640 complaints relating to poor infrastructure in public schools. And we don't the reports only. I mean, we are members, we do oversight, we drive around. And even in our free time, we drive around and we see and notice things. Let's look at some of the 2030 reading panel. The share of grade 4 children that cannot read for meaning increased from 78% in 2016 to at least 82%. Fundamental for learning is reading. 60% of the children have not learned most of the letters of the alphabet by the end of grade 1. Okay, no wonder they cannot read by grade 4. By the end of grade 2, this number is a staggering 30%. Ons praat nie eers oor wiskunde en wetenskap nie. Then we come to the societal problems, teenage pregnancies. We saw a report, increase of 41% in children aged between 10 to 14 giving birth in health facilities in 2022. How can this be a result of luk op so baie vlakke nie? Dankie, Kieleboga, thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kleinhans. Honorable Mutsumi, you have 5 minutes.
No, thank you very much, Chair of Chairs. I'm not going to take much of your time because really, hakuna anything to debate here. There's nothing to debate, any budget, but at the same time, they expect our people to get services from us. But as the National Congress, Honorable Chair of Chairs, I'm going to respond on issues of pit toilets. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I'm going to respond matter. Consistently, so as the department, we have been requesting the DA to give us a list of those particular schools so that we go and intervene in that regard. Chair of Chairs.
Order, Honorable Bukatu, you must speak from your seat. Honorable Bukatu.
Honorable Mutsumi.
Honorable Bukatu.
I withdraw for grandstand.
Honorable Bukatu.
I raise the genuine issues.
Honorable Bukatu.
So he must
Honorable
not say
Bukatu.
grandstand.
Honorable Bukatu, you may speak from your seat, but in the light that you have avoided to do so. May you speak from your seat. May you speak from your seat. That is not your seat. That is not your seat. You are out of order. MEC, may you proceed?
Yeah, we have shown them flames. The African National Congress, that is why they are all over the place. I'm giving the DA, Honorable Rabutati, as the MEC of the Department of Education, I'm giving you a challenge. Give me the list of those particular schools so that as the Department of Education, we go to those particular schools and make sure that hakona di pit toilets at all. So I'm giving you a challenge. And then Honorable Chair of Chairs,
Honorable Mutsumi, you have 1 minute remaining.
On the issue of mobile classrooms, Chair of Chairs, let me take this opportunity, if you allow me also, to indicate that as the Department of Education consistently so, in our portfolio committees, we have been clear in terms of our plan to say that it's not like we are happy of using mobile classrooms, but a practical example, ke kganya di storm damaged schools, Honorable Chairs. Are you saying haka moso go ka nna le dipula da di ga dikolo tsa rona or marulelo a tsamaya? The question is, as a part of intervention temporarily, hence we are stuck with mobile classrooms. But we are very clear, hence we have a program ya go aga di classroom kwa eleng gore there is overcrowding thing. And then also there's a consequence management, eri dirileng, after underspending. There are officials currently they are being suspended. They will be subjected to disciplinary processes to come and account for how did we arrive to a point of not spending. And then also, Chair, on the issue of water shortages, because baagi ba rona ba re reditse ha gona sekolo se leng gore se dula se sena metsi. Go na le dikolo tse leng gore they are struggling in terms of underground water. But as part of our responsibilities as the Department of Education, we are providing those particular schools with JoJo tanks temporarily so. So ne ke bua gore se ka ga misleadiwa baagi ba rona as if as the Department of Education we are not doing anything about that. We know that our country is a water scarce country, so are facing reality. And then asbestos, go na le issue ya di-asbestos, the project eco IDT currently as I'm speaking to you, and then we are worried about progress registered so far. Hence, last week, we wrote a letter of intent of withdrawing those particular projects from IDT. If they don't speed up, they are ha ba sa kgone go ka dira gore re kgone go ka dila ka these things tsa di-asbestos. And then also, to Honorable Kleinhans,
As you
it
conclude,
is unfortunate, maybe when your child, oko skolong se leng gore it is in good conditions, hence you are unable to appreciate, because I believe that credit must be given where it's due. I ke go bolelle something that you don't know. Mr. Kabalatsane Primary School, Marikani Secondary School, to Waterclove Hills Secondary Schools, Dipkoloto is one of the schools as the Department of Education, occupy, and they're in good conditions. Yes, we admit the conditions are. Hence, we submit the procurement plan and our plans in making sure, hey, this woman. In making sure bana ba rona ba tsenela go dikolong tse di siameng. In that note, Honorable Chair of Chairs, ke lebogele tšhono e ebile re tsaya maikano as Department of Education gore tlo go tswelela go dira tiro e ntle. Mme oppositions will always be oppositions. Se ba se dirang fela ke go ngoka ba votera ba rona gore ba ba votele, mme ba palelwa ke go play their role in the legislation. I thank you, Chair.
Le rona re etsa yana ke re.
thank you very much.
Re etsa yana le rona.
Thank you
The
very
same
much.
thing.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mutsumi. Your
Re
time
etsa
is
the
up.
same thing.
Your time is up, Honorable Mutsumi. We will now read the roll call in line with Rule 245.1 of the Northwest Standing Rules to determine the quorum. Honorable Babuile. Honorable Botswe.
Ke teng.
Honorable Twaile. Honorable Tanji.
Ke teng, COC, thank you.
Honorable Kolomela.
Ke teng, Honorable Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Tliso.
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Edwards.
I'm present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Kleinhans.
Present.
Honorable Lehari.
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Linkupani. Honorable Mape.
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Malui.
Die voordaag ilagbare.
Honorable Micha.
Ke teng, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Mohono.
Ke teng modulasetulo wa baduladitulo.
Honorable Muilwa.
Ke teng, COC.
Honorable Mokotwa. Honorable Mukosi.
Present, COC.
Honorable Mulapisi.
Present, COC.
Honorable Musenuchi. Honorable Mutsumi.
I'm present, Chair of Chairs.
What is the point of order?
Point of order, Chair of Chairs. It's not an issue that the member is not at a seat, but she's not on record. So if Honourable Mosonogi can just be on record when she speaks so that it can be captured as such.
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Mutsumi,
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Mutswana,
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Nell, Honorable Rabutapi,
Present, Chair.
Honorable Khosho,
Ke gone, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Sambata,
Dikhona sihlalo wesihlalo.
Honorable Sibikwe,
Ke teng, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Sonakile,
Present.
Honorable Theologo,
I'm present.
Honorable Tapi,
Ke teng.
Honorable Williams, Honorable Kaba. Thank you very much. Honorable members who have said,
Joyle is present, Chair.
Honorable Twaile is present. Honorable Bukhatsu,
Ke present, ebile ga ke ikamanye. Klaar.
thank you. We have now satisfied ourselves that we indeed, in line with the rules, meet the quorum to process the adoption of this budget presented. On program 1, administration, 981,960,000 rands. Does the House adopt?
Yes.
Yes. The yes have got it. Program 2, public ordinary school education, 15,021,810,000 rands. Does the House adopt program 2?
Yes. Yes.
The yes have it. Program 3, independent school subsidies, 50,866,000 rands. Does the House adopt program 3? The yes have it. Program 4, public special school education, 904,898,000 rands. Does the House adopt program?
Yes. Ho na le peace ya ke re yes wait.
Program 7, examination and education related services, 1,339,254,000 rands. Does the House adopt the budget for program?
Yes.
Thank you, honorable members. The budget for the Department of Education, vote 8, has been duly adopted, totaling 20,575,525,000 rand adopted.
When spend me?
Thank you very much.
We'll do oversight.
Re tla go ruta. Re tla go ruta Kgatsu.
Honorable members, we will now call on the MEC. There's a hand, Honorable Kleinhans.
Oh, there it's back, you see. Thank you, Chair of Chairs. I just want to put it on record that the Freedom Front Plus don't support this budget, but not for the reasons that is stated by the MEC.
Thank you very much. We note the rejection of the budget by the Freedom Front Plus. We will now call upon the... There's another hand, the Honorable Butwe.
Ke a leboga, Chair of Chairs. Re le mokgatlo wa EFF ha re ikamaganye ka ntlheng ya gore madi a mannyane a ha a kgone go ira tiro eo a e tshwanetseng. Ke a leboga.
Thank you very much. We also note the rejection of the budget by the Economic Freedom Fighters. We will now call upon the MEC for Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation to present the departmental speech, vote for, in line with Rule 64.b. Honorable Musenuchi, you have 40 minutes. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs, Honorable Speaker of the Legislature, Mayor Basetsana Danchi, Honorable Premier, Mayor Ntate Bushimape, colleagues from the Executive Council, Honorable members of the Legislature, representative of House of Traditional Leaders, mayors and executive mayors, and honorable MMCs from different municipalities who are responsible for the arts, sports, arts and culture, chairpersons of public entities, CEOs and acting CEOs, head of the department, all stakeholders, bomme le bontate, baagi ba bokoni bophirima, dumelang. Honorable Speaker, I stand before you today, Honorable Chair of Chairs, to account for the commitments we have made in 2022-2023 financial year and to present the departmental plans for 2023-2024 financial year. The budget vote is premised on the Constitution of the Republic, all pieces of legislation governing the sector, which also includes policies and sector plans. The department is responsible for providing an enabling environment that will empower and unify the people of the province through arts, culture, heritage, language, libraries, archives, information services, and sports and recreation. This budget vote will therefore serve as a catalyst to foster social cohesion, nation building, as well as delivering programs that contribute towards job creation in order to address the challenges of unemployment and poverty. South Africa is getting closer to the next general election. As we gear ourselves towards completing the medium-term strategic framework, we must, as a department, ensure attainment of target we have set in the sixth administration priorities. We will adopt a business unusual and integrated program delivery approach in order to improve inter-program coordination, cost sharing, and maximizing impact and citizens' convenience. Honorable Speaker, during the 2022-2023 financial year, the department made significant progress pertaining to the human capital management programs. 153 employment opportunities were created through integrated work, learning, internship, and expanded public works programs. For the 2023 again financial year, the department set a target of 520 work opportunities to be created, and this will be achieved. For this to be realized, an amount of about 4 million has been allocated, of which 1.9 is from the expanded public works program. 2.1 has been reprioritized from the equitable share support to support this initiative. Building departmental capacity to strengthen compliance and improve service delivery is a key priority. To this effect, the appointment of the head of the department and the director of arts and culture were finalized. The department has further filled 15 posts and advertised 22 posts by end of March 2023. And a further 64 posts have already been advertised for the 2023 financial year and will be filled before the end of the financial year. All these efforts demonstrate our commitment to reduce unemployment and capacitate the department to be able to deliver services more efficiently. As part of recognition of hard work and dedicated employees, the department held successful long service award and rewarded those officials in accordance with the government mission of long service. Employees received certificates, amongst other things, and also memorabilia from our creative sector and talented artists in the province. World-renowned businessman and author Ari has correctly stated that, and I quote, if you don't create a great rewarding place for work, for people to work, they won't do great work. To echo the sentiments of this words, the department will in 2023 financial year introduce Excellence Award to recognize best performing programs, districts, and service point. This honorable chair of chairs are intended to create a positive working environment and improve organizational culture. Again, honorable chair of chairs, as part of our contribution to the strategic plan on gender-based violence, a number of intervention has been planned to this end, working with a number of stakeholders, amongst others, the Department of Social Development, to drive also our awareness through the arts in terms of promoting and educating our people about GBV. A further 2.2 million has been set aside in partnership with the different federations and programs that programs such as self-defense training program for women will be initiated in the second quarter. The intention is not to promote violence, but to empower women and LGBTQI, including the vulnerables, to defend themselves. Recognizing that GBV takes place in an enclosed environment, often we find ourselves defenseless as women and LGBTQI. The department employee health and wellness program focused on implementation of programs that supports well-being of officials in line with the pillars informed by the National Strategic Plan on Employee Health and Wellness. The Provincial Public Service Wellness Games were provided, necessary support was provided for. The department is taking leadership in ensuring that all public servants participate on Sports Wednesday and will engage with relevant stakeholders and strategic partners to avail sports and recreation facilities for this purpose. Honorable Chair of Chairs, allow me again to reiterate the commitment of the department to attain the clean audit. From the previous regularity audit by Auditor General, we committed a post-audit action plan. We completed a post-audit action plan. Out of 19 findings, 14 are fully achieved in terms of implementation, and 5 are in progress. We will continue to strengthen governance, improve internal controls, and ensure compliance. I wish this House that we are on course to assure this House that we are on course to strengthening governance and improve coordination, as we demonstrated by hosting the Arts and Culture in Bizo, in which more than 500 artists and associations directly participated. The engagement with various sports federations and the confederation in the province. And in the spirit of district development model, we hosted the Munimec where all the MMCs and all senior officials were invited to share their inputs in terms of the departmental mandate and plans, and to ensure that coordination and collaboration is strengthened. Honorable Speaker, we have resolved that engagements of such nature will be convened regularly to ensure that we keep in check and ensure we are all committed to achieving the mandate, but importantly to ensure that we leave no one behind. The late Miles Monroe once said, "The graveyard is the richest place on the surface of the earth, because there you will see books that were not published, ideas that were not harnessed, songs that were not sung, and drama pieces that were never acted." During the 2023 program registered the following, the program of arts and culture registered the following achievement: supported Mabana Arts Culture Sports Foundation with a total of about 139.4 million. Sign language interpreters were provided during the provincial commemoration event. Provision of sign language services is a priority for the department to ensure access to information by the sector, and we are pleased to announce that the National Assembly has anonymously endorsed sign language as a 12th official language. 295 arts and culture practitioners received capacity building programs on South African Sign Language sectors: arts administration, funding, drama and dance, cultural and creative industry master plan, photography. 36 books were published in Setswana language, and we further trained 44 being writers in basic manuscript writing in Setswana. A youngster by the name Lesego Motlhankane wrote a Setswana book titled Pitsana ya Poko, which was prescribed at the Northwest University. He was trained through our literature empowerment program. The Munsiwa Barolong Chief and Patriot was launched. The book is about the history of Barolong and the citizenship, the chieftainship. Together with the Office of the Premier in partnership with Moses Kotane Foundation, we hosted the Moses Kotane Memorial Lecture at Northwest University Potchefstroom campus and partnered with the Provincial Language Committee to host the Solplaiki Memorial Lecture in December 2022. Furthermore, on Nkgopotse Tiro Memorial Lecture in Lihuruzi, we celebrated the Black History Month and hosted Dingaka Conference at Munsiwa Cultural Village. We supported 23 community arts centers, spending about 1.1 million for procurement of equipment. 160 artists participated in the Presidential Employment Stimulus Package at the cost of 4.1 million. Implemented 18 museum programs, including cultural exchange programs in Belgium, with Belgium students from Jens University in Ikageng Museum, and further celebrated Heritage Day with Bakhatla Bakhafela at Mpebatu Museum. 32 government buildings were beautified through artists and further provided 13 artist group with support and logistics for attending the Graham's Town Arts Festival to a tune of about 2 million. Implemented Maika Maikeng Cultural Festival. In 2023, the department will host Mabana Arts, Culture and Sports Fund, will support Mabana Arts and Culture Foundation again with about 129 million is set aside for this purpose. The following committees of the department and agencies and non-profit organization will be supported accordingly. The National Heritage Agency, PRA, will be supported with 1.6 million, Provincial Language Committee 1.4, Publishing House 1.4, again cultural industry with about 500,000, Provincial Geographic Names with about 1 million. In promoting social cohesion and nation building, the department will host commemorative days. An amount of 4.5 is set aside for this purpose. We will collaborate with funding institutions such as National Arts Council, National Lottery, to ensure continuous capacitation of arts, culture and heritage practitioners. The transformation of the heritage landscape programs will continue through identification, profiling, gazetting and declaration of various tangible and intangible heritage sites in the province. Speaker, the department will upgrade and maintain JB Mark site with an amount of 1 million and commence with the first phase construction of Moses Kotane statue to an amount of 1 million. We will continue to promote and preserve indigenous language through digitization of published indigenous books. Community arts centers are central to arts and culture programs. Our collaboration with the Federation of Community Arts Centers will be strengthened to ensure that more and more young people, even in rural areas, access the use of community arts centers. An amount of 1 million again this year will be spent to support this community. A huge investment is needed that we acknowledge to support the community arts centers because they increase access and expand participation in arts if they are established in all wards in the province as envisaged in the 2013 White Paper on Arts, Culture and Heritage. They can also assist in achieving the National Drug Master Plan deliverables of divergent programs. Importantly, it will also attempt to address the 3 of the 7 priorities of the 6th administration, which is economic transformation, job creation, education, skills and health, social communities. In 2021, the department funded 28 projects through a call for proposal, a call 4 proposal was used as departmental recovery plan for the department after the devastating effect of COVID-19. We received about 161 applicants for funding totaling 164 million. Out of this million, the department could only fund projects to a tune of 6 million, which was only 6% of the amount applied for. So we realized the demands are high, the funding is very limited for us to fulfill our obligation and meet the demand of the sector. The department will implement the following activities in collaboration with relevant stakeholders: International Translation Day, Death Awareness Month, International Mother Tongue Day, Spelling Bee and Reading Competition, Writers Award, Skills Development Workshop for South African Sign Language Practitioners, Narration and Digitization of Setswana Books, and a book launch and literacy festival. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we wish to indicate with concern again that we spoke of some of our programs that we will roll out for museum, but we wish to indicate there's very little resources that have been allocated for the museum function in the province. And when you read Schedule 5 of the Constitution, it is a provincial government function. And unfortunately, with limited resources, we are unable to execute fully this responsibility. We are unable to adequately promote, collect, treat, and display artifacts and other objects of scientific, artistic, and historical importance. While we acknowledge municipalities are trying to fulfill this function, which is not their function if you read Schedule 5 of the Constitution, they need to equally be supported. We will engage with the provincial government, specifically the provincial treasury, to avail adequate resources for this function to be performed, which can also assist to drive tourism and, importantly, socio-economic well-being of our people. Madam Honorable Chair of Chairs, the department continues to promote library services concurrently with all local municipalities in the province. An amount of 152.4 million is allocated for this purpose, whilst preparing to take over the function in a phased approach. There's a directly mandated responsibility by the said Schedule 5 of the Constitution of the Republic. The process will be implemented without causing service delivery disruptions or challenges, and will require adequate funding by the provincial government and treasury, and will be a multi-year project that will see contract workers appointed permanently after all necessary consultation and approval processes have been granted. There are serious disparities that we have noted from the People's Parliament report from the Portfolio Committee, wherein you find other employees are appointed permanently by the municipality, and some are appointed through the conditional grants and are on contract basis. And we acknowledge that it's really unfair, more so that this is our function, and all library employees who are contracted by us need to perform that function on a permanent basis. To operate a 600-meter square library can cost up to 2.5 million, ideally with about 9 staff members, which are 1 librarian, library assistant, cleaners, groundsmen, etc., amongst others. Operation cost, which includes municipal services, electricity and services, rental of photocopies, and all other operational requirements for library services to function. So with what we have indicated, 152 million will not be adequate to cover all libraries across the province. In terms of, again, the white paper on arts, culture, and heritage, it compels us to have 1 library in each and every ward. So that gives you a sense of the need and the need for additional resources to execute this responsibility effectively. And it's important for us to promote education and information. The insufficient of library function can no longer be excuse for the department to take responsibility of its constitutional mandate. Libraries are exclusive provincial competency, as we again reiterate. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we want to echo the words of a Kenyan author and academic, Ngunki Watingo when he said a task is a burden only when it has not been tackled. If we all do what we're supposed to do, no task will be a burden to us. Improve access to library and information services remain a priority of the department in the 2022-2023 financial year, 2023-2024 financial year. The department achieved again the following: handed over a newly constructed library to the community of Letabong in Rustenburg municipality. The project of construction of Saudi Library and installation of a modular structure in Raditsane Secondary School in Kagisano Molopo municipality were completed. In addition, in Dr. Ruth Mumpati district in Mamusa, a project of delivery and installation of a modular structure was completed in Mirdol. A total of 360 members were registered for the mini library, the service delivery through a partnership with South African Library for the Blind. 60 community members identified through the mini lab service in Ngaka Mudiri Molema and Dr. Ruth Mumpati were provided a basic Braille training to introduce them to reading and writing in Braille. The department has funded projects for delivery and installation of modular library in Moshasha, Ramotsiri Muilwa, Madibe, Makhabani in Mahikeng municipality, 8 Cake and Mataum in Moses Kotane. The department has completed the project of establishing libraries in Ridirile, Lukhachane and Rekhatlile. These libraries have been finished and books are allocated and being delivered to all libraries. In 2023-24, the Braille training will be rolled out targeting 60 blind and visual impaired people in Bujanala and Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. They will get opportunities to learn again and use Braille. You'll note that when we reported the achievement of the 2022-2023 financial year, it was in Dr. Ruth Mumpati and in Ngaka. So for the coming financial year, we will do the 2 stated regions. 3 new libraries are being prepared for official handover in 2023, and funds have been allocated for appointment of staff, furniture, equipment, and the full resourcing of these libraries. The department will monitor the ongoing library construction projects in Dinokana and Wolmaranstad. Backup power will be prioritized to deal with the effects of load shedding on libraries, and especially that there is a process to install internet connectivity, Wi-Fi for all libraries in the province, working closely with the Office of the Premier. The department will in 2023-2024 prioritize supporting government bodies to improve and management of records and cap the threat of losing public records, and this will strengthen accountability and good governance. There is only only 2 government bodies that fully comply with legislation. It's Provincial Treasury and Matlorsana Municipality, and as such, the program will be accelerated through mandatory inspection as well as capacity building for record practitioners. All departments and entities are urged to ensure that they have functional record management units with qualified staff, including a record manager, as functional records management in governmental bodies is essential and the only measure to ensure collection and preservation of public records at the Provincial Archives repository. In terms of Section 5, Schedule 5, Part A of the Constitution of the Republic. Chairs, it is critically clear that sports has the power to inspire and unite people. For this purpose, a conditional grant amounting to 48.1 million has been allocated during the 2022-23 financial year. We committed before this August House to roll out sporting and recreation programs across the province. We are happy to report to the House that the department has hosted the Provincial Sports Awards, where athletes, sports administrators, journalists across the province were recognized and rewarded for their contribution in sports. Furthermore, the department, in collaboration with the National Department, hosted the National Sports Awards. We have supported the N12 Ultra Marathon as pronounced in SOPA, which was in partnership with 3 young Africans from Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. The Ultra Marathon started from Potchefstroom in JB Max Municipality, from Klerksdorp Municipality to JB Max Municipality. The program attracted athletes as far as Ethiopia and many from the SADC countries. 2,400 athletes across different races registered and took part in the marathon. The marathon has been elevated as a Comrade Marathon qualifier and is the first ultra marathon in the country to pay equal prize money for both men and women. The department, in collaboration with the Department of Education, roll out the school sports program, informed by the memorandum of agreement signed between the 2 ministers at the national level. Learners from various schools participated in winter, summer, and autumn national championship in different codes. More than 10,000 learners were assigned to participate in sports from district, provincial to national championships. The department provided training camps to prepare participants to compete at the national level. 21,350 people across the province participated in recognized sports, thus promoting physical activity and positive active lifestyle. And 120 were trained to deliver school sports, 100 trained in hubs, 141 trained in community clubs development, and 259 were trained through the Academy of Sports to deliver high performance support. 206 clubs, schools and hubs were provided with equipment and attire in the last financial year as part of our program to revive sports in rural areas. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Northwest Province continues to pride itself with men and women who continue to excel on the national and global sporting stage. While our support to such athletes remains a challenge due to financial constraints, they, however, continue to be a pride and joy of the People's Province of Bokoni Bophirima. Our comrade winner, Ntate Tedi Tejana, went further to set a new world record in Nelson Mandela Bay in February. Our young tennis, Yarona Murule, has also continued to represent the province well in the continental stage. The department has also supported to play both and is now ranked 3rd on the Elmira van der Berg on the netball team that will be playing at the World Cup starting from July. We wish her and the team all the best. The team that has produced Monnapule Saleng, Mangwe Obed College, has qualified to play at the ABC Motsepe playoff. We rally our support to ensure that the team gain promotion to the 2nd division. It remains our wish that one day we have a provincial team at the level of the PSL. Honorable Chair of Chairs, our mandate in sport development, esports development, the demand for township and rural games development support far exceeds our budget. These are annual events from Easter Games, school leagues, and festivals that we need to support. Unfortunately, we depend on conditional grant that has its own conditions. Hence, we are unable to fulfill completely some of the support that is needed. We can do more, and we believe that we can still do more, but we will prove that with the resources that we have, we will achieve and put Northwest on the map in terms of our participation at international and national competition. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we have recently convened municipalities to engage on the MIG funding. The demand for sporting facilities has reached the highest proportion, which is a mandate of municipalities in terms of the constitution, and importantly, they are allocated funding through the municipal infrastructure grant with a 15% ring-fenced allocation. We will continue to urge and engage the provincial COGTA and Treasury to assist in monitoring and insisting as they engage with all municipalities that the ring-fenced allocation serve its purpose in terms of rollout of infrastructure, sports infrastructure and maintenance. In 2023-2024, the department will provide training to 590 coaches, technical assistant, umpires, general team and management in different sporting codes. The department will continue to provide equipment and attire to clubs, hub schools to ensure that we roll out the sports and recreational activities across the 4 districts. In this 2023-2024 financial year, this is the year of women in sports. The sports calendar for 2023 highlights the high-level sporting activity for women. Cabinet has approved a draft policy on women in sport, which outlines measures that will promote and support women in sports and ensure programs are in place to address gender disparity in different sporting code structures, address barriers to entry by women in sport such as lack of funding, sponsorship, and inadequate remuneration, promote increased active participation of women in sports and leadership role, coaching and officiating, and recognizing that increased participation of women in sports and leadership positions will drastically reduce and eradicate gender equality and various forms of discrimination against women. The province will in 2023-2024 host the Women in Sports to take stock of the impact that the department is making towards empowering women, athletes, administrators alike to deliver sports in the province. We
You
further
have
wish to
10 minutes
highlight,
remaining.
amongst other things, Chair, we wish to indicate that in terms of Mabana, we have stated earlier the allocation that will be provided to Mabana. We are committed in the implementation of the turnaround strategy to improve the delivery of Mabana mandate. The entities embarking on a massive roadshow in all districts to coordinate activities in school, clinics, and old age homes, amongst others. The academy stream of the entity will, through collaborations with relevant sitters, implement, prioritize accredited programs and skills development. We estimate a total of 15,000 service beneficiaries will be reached through various artistic sporting activities. The creative arts program, performing and visual, will reach an estimate of about 7,000 beneficiaries through various activities. The program will create 505 work opportunities and contributes toward fighting poverty. Honorable Chair, we wish to further indicate that we will continue to roll out the ultimate talent search in the province. We will host the Taung Cultural Calabash. Ramba in the Jungle will be supported. World Age Games will also be supported. And amongst others, some of our athletes participating in different world competitions will be supported. We must state that about 8 of our athletes will participate in the World Tumbling Games from the province, which they will constitute the South African SA team to this competition. We are further sending more than 16 athletes in collaboration with the Department of Education who will participate in the Special Olympic competition. And we must state that the soccer team is 100% Northwest soccer players. The entity is seeking, please allow me to present the budget as follows: administration 126, 920,000, cultural affairs 230, 710 million, library and archive services 206, 174 million, sports and recreation 178, 288 million. The total budget is 742 and 165 million. Honorable Speaker, I'm inspired by the words of a gallant fighter, the late Mama Charlotte Mateke, when she said, "This work is not for yourself. Kill that spirit of self and do not live above your people, but live with them. And if you can rise, bring someone with you." Allow me to express my appreciation to the leadership of the African National Congress in the province led by Ntate Maloi, and my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Premier and Ms. Susana Danchi, the Speaker of the Northwest Provincial Legislature, for their support. My appreciation again goes to the deep support from the Portfolio Committee, the chair specifically of the committee, and Tate Sebigo, the the head of the department, Ntate Itumeleng Mokgorosi, with his team of the entire department, and Mabana Arts Cultures Foundation. I wish to also thank the entire, I wish to also express my sincere gratitude to my family for their unwavering support and continuous prayers. I wish to quote in closing Karl Marx in a letter submitted to his father titled Choice of Profession, which asserts that if we have chosen the position in life in which we can most of all work for mankind, no burden can bow us down, because they are sacrifices for the benefit of all. Then we shall experience no pity, limited, selfish joy, but our happiness will belong to millions. Our deeds will live on quietly but perpetually at work. And over our ashes, we will shed the hot tears of noble people. I thank you, Ke a leboga.
Thank you very much, Honorable Musunuki. We will now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation, Honorable Sebekwe, to lead the debate. Honorable Sebekwe, the floor is yours.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs. This will be one of the shortest debate, purely based on the insufficient funding, very, very depressing allocation, I must say, Honorable Premier. We spoke about it, and it's only fair that I must raise it here. It's a very unfortunate situation for the department, especially considering where we are coming from as a province. What type of artists, sports stars that have been produced by this province as such. I listened to the MEC. She's really trying, to make sense out of the limited resources that are there. However, let me just, on behalf of the committee, present the report. I must confirm that on the 16th of May, we met with the department, wherein we received a briefing from the department in terms of their report based on the APP, their strategic objectives that have been identified by the department, amongst others, to provide leadership in sports and culture sector with a view to accelerate transformation, oversee the development and management of sports, arts and culture in the province, provide oversight over sports participation, sports infrastructure and safety, preserve development and protect, promote, and so forth. So based on these programs that the MEC have alluded to, the Portfolio Committee deliberated on the report from the department, and there are specific issues that were raised. One of them is that the department wanted to know the plan that the department have in terms of the Southie Library that has been left incomplete for almost few years. And as we speak to Southie, it is not only Southie that came to the attention of the Portfolio Committee. There are several other projects, regrettably, that could not be completed. So the department have actually requested that, a Portfolio Committee have requested that the department must then go and provide report in terms of the project, this project that were incomplete and the action that the department is going to take. The committee also wanted to know if there's any coordination and integration between the Department of Arts and Culture and Social Development, particularly in terms of the gender-based violence, because they have prioritized it. So the portfolio committee wanted to know if the two departments have got an integrated approach so that they can achieve, better results as such. So the committee also needed clarity in relation to why the budget was reduced by 32 million, very regrettably. The lowest budget, but it still got reduced as such. It's really not assisting us. I wouldn't know what might have informed at the level of EXCO, but we thought maybe as you'll be moving towards the adjustment budget, it's something that seriously needs to be looked into, because we have been doing oversight. We met with members of the public, artists, and so through public hearings. There is an expectation created that certain things will be done. But with a limited budget, it is quite clear that we will come back here and just explain why certain things could not be done. The other interesting issue was around Mahikeng. We wanted to be convinced why does the department still want to proceed with the project, especially in the context of the amount that is involved, around 40 million. So when you look at the department does not have money, we wanted just to understand what are the benefits out of that investment as such. But the department was able to, of course, put their case, but there is a commitment that they are going to give us a written report in terms of what has been achieved out of the Mahikeng, because we had the view that maybe it seems like it's only individuals, particularly artists, who stand to benefit, but there's no empowerment in the locality as well as in the province. But the department presented a different view in terms of that. We will be awaiting the comprehensive report from them and look at it further in terms of justification in having to proceed in the next year with regard to the same project. The committee also wanted to understand the issue around the feasibility study that has been alluded to, because obviously there are costs involved. I think it should be an average of around 2 million or 4 million. So that we want to know in the limited budget, what is it that they are going to do around this. We hope to be getting a report from the department. There's also an issue of the derbys, Vodacom Challenge that used to be held in Mafikeng. There's also an issue of the derby matches. We're actually impressing upon the department to start looking at how can they attract teams such as Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, to Mafikeng, to the Northwest as such, as part of empowerment of our people. But due to insufficient funding, the commitment is not there. But hopefully, as we engage further, there will probably be some means, because we need some vibrancy in the province. There's also an issue of Bray July. We wanted to know why was it cancelled, as an event as such, and the fact that the place that has been used have not been attended to, and it has been left unattended. So we are awaiting a report in terms of that, but of course the department were able to explain reasons. And as we conclude, our recommendation is as follows: that the department will obviously have to provide us a detailed plan on Mahikeng to justify it, as I have explained. The department also to provide detailed report on cultural villages, stating the villages that will be retained and how they are going to be utilized as such. As we are told, some of them have not been completed in terms of infrastructure. The department also must submit a report on their plan with regard to the Bray, as I've explained. But then, as I conclude, the committee also would want to thank the department, the officials, their cooperation, the MEC, in terms of the engagement with the portfolio committee, and also the staff of the portfolio committee, and that the committee hereby recommends that the House adopt the committee report for the annual report of 2023-2024 for the Department of Arts, Culture, Arts, Sports and Recreation. Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sibeho. Honorable Dikolomela, you have 11 minutes. My sincere apologies, Honorable Dikolomela. I was in a hurry to listen to your very educating debate today that I even skipped Honorable Tliso. Honorable Tliso, the floor is yours. You have 11 minutes.
Thank you, Chair of Chairs, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, Executive Council,
my colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chair of Chairs, I stand before your august House, cognizant of the huge responsibility bestowed upon us as public representatives, which is to serve our people diligently and honestly in furtherance of our program of national building. The right from the dawn of democracy, we as ANC-led government have been seized with this objective of remaking South Africa into a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and prosperous society. Sports and the arts have become defining characteristic of those efforts towards building and social cohesion. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the ultimate goal in all our endeavors as the arts, culture, sports, and recreation is to ensure the progressively South African becoming a socially integrated and inclusive society. The challenge we face as a society is to process of the building of nation out of the vast culture and economic legacy of difference and inequality. Honorable Chair of Chairs and honorable members, the NDP responds on the 5 key priorities, which are inclusive social and economic development. Second one, sustainable investment and growth. Third, decent job and sustainable livelihood. The fourth one, a capable developmental state. And the last one, expanding opportunities. And the NDP state as follow. Arts and culture open powerful space for an engagement about where a society finds itself and where it is going. Promoted effectively, the creative and cultural industry can contribute substantively to small business development, job creation, urban development, and renewal. This is a welcome measure by the ANC government to respond to unfinished business of economic transformation as a framework for economic vitality of our social and cultural vibrate. It further restores social transformation as a pillar of nation building and unity. We also commend the department's plan to appoint 65 sports coordinators who will be placed in schools to assist with various sporting code and discipline. This decisive action shows the importance of ANC attaches to sports in creating access to economic opportunity, bringing people together and advance our people's interest. We acknowledge the enormity of sports in contributing to the country's GDP. It empowers and promotes the inclusive of marginalized groups, especially women, youth, rural community, and people with disability. Honorable Chair of Chairs, we are of a firm belief that community art centers are the backdrop of development of creative industry and pipeline to performing arts institutions and the academies. It is on this score that we plead with the department to fully resource them so that they fulfill and contribute to the development of the sector. In order to build a creative economy province-wide, foster social cohesion, as the ANC, we support the funding of the artists, like the MEC indicated, Rumba in the Jungle, Makanda Festival, Mahika Mahiking, and JB Max Heritage to create significant platform and promote local talents. Beyond the transfer of the funds to the entities and agencies, memorials and heritage, we further urge the department to promote construction, project management support to ensure effective implementation of infrastructure development project. The development of heritage infrastructure contribute to stimulate economic vitality and turn every part of our land into creative site for the learning of the history, for fostering economic pride and confidence and expanding opportunity for local and international tourism. We urge the department to protect, preserve, and promote our cultural heritage and recreation centers in all its manifestations. We further note with disappointment the incomplete cultural village in our communities, which is a matter that the department must continue implementing. A clear plan on how these white elephants are to be completed should be implemented forthwith in order to meet the backlog depriving our communities quality infrastructure. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the use of Official Language Act require that government departments and the entities create language units, develop language policies, which was implemented, or the Act of November 2014. This will allow communities access government services in the language of their choice. We urge the department to amend Provincial Language Act so that we accommodate Setswana language to be officially used in official language or publications such as pamphlet and newsletters.
You have 5 minutes left.
Honorable Chair of Chairs, new libraries upgrading, renovation and refurbishment of existing libraries should be prioritized in order to bridge the urban-rural divide and redress the inherited inequalities. No effort must be spared to stock existing libraries shelved with the new books, connect to computer technology so that our people can access the internet. The department should also make sure that it attend to matters of litigation facing it and resolve these matters with agency. The rollout of this program will grow township and rural audiences and provide infrastructure for emerging artists in the sphere to tell the South African story throughout the platform. This will go a long way in bringing people together in social dialogue and cohesion throughout this program. In conclusion, Chair of Chairs, guided by the NDP and the strategic approach of the outcome 14 in transforming society and uniting the country, together with all the programs and intervention, the ANC-led government is on course, working towards building a creative ecosystem and enabling environment within which all the citizens can flourish and which will enable people to work together to achieve the common goal. The ANC, Honorable Chair, support and move for the adoption of the budget of the Department of Culture, Sports, Recreation 2023-2024 to accelerate service delivery and advance our people's interests. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tliso. Honorable Dikolomela, you have 11 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair of Chairs, members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature, Provincial Chair of the EFF, Honorable Butswe, and members on gallery. I greet you all. Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Portfolio Committee on Culture, Arts, Sports, and Recreation has scrutinized the annual performance plan of the department robustly in order to achieve the written strategy objectives of the department, apart from the programs that never go to be implemented, or those which lack an accountability figure. There are serious concerns that were raised in the 2021-22 annual report, which needs serious attention and consideration by the MEC. The committee raised a concern about the unavailability of internet and books that are old at libraries across the province. Honorable Chair of Chairs, even today as we speak, the issue of internet is still a great concern at libraries, which are far away from the city center. There is no internet put in place, which eventually disadvantages the quality of education at schools. We live in a fourth industrial revolution era, whereby everything is done online, more so post the COVID-19 pandemic. The provision of internet at public libraries in Northwest Province needs to be accelerated, as it has proven to be a basic need in the education system of the day. An inspiration should be drawn by the Department of Culture, Arts, Sports and Recreation from Tshwane municipality, which caters internet access all over the city by its residents. Even though the municipalities provided 21 community libraries with internet and Wi-Fi through transfer payments, there is a larger number of 90 libraries that do not have internet connectivity. The economic freedom fighters does not support the budget vote. We believe that the budgeted 744 million for the entire department in the 2022-23 financial year can be used to develop local sports extensively, invest in women's football, or create long-lasting infrastructure for the creative industry, not this senseless attempt at social cohesion. Included in the allocation, Honorable Chair of Chairs, is an amount of 153 million for community library services grant, which is meant for the construction and maintenance of libraries. To our surprise, some libraries in the province have leaking roofs, which defeats the purpose of a sound and comfortable study environment for the citizens, more especially learners that rely on the usage of these facilities for their academic work. To this day, Honorable Chair of Chairs, Moshawane Library remains incomplete since 2016, but every year a budget is tabled for community library services. The economic freedom fighters condemns cross and wasteful intended expenditure by the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture for forking out 152 million allocated for the development of sports, arts, culture and heritage activities, while museums in the province are dilapidated, abandoned, and not taken care of entirely. There is no social economic transformation that can be advanced by the department if the budget is not directed for its intended use. The failed projects proves the department has no clue what to do with its budget. In addressing unemployment in the arts sector, Honorable Chair of Chairs, the EFF believes that people need concerts and annual events such as the nature of Mahika Mahikeng, so that promoters can make money and the subcontracted workers will be able to gain employment. Mahikeng is a home of great talents that need support from the department in order to enhance social interrelation in society while generating income through arts. We hope that the 125 million put aside for Mabana Arts, Culture, and Sports Foundation will put to good use. Honorable Chair of Chairs, Mabato Stadium needs urgent resuscitation for sporting events which provided a source of income for those not only employed at the stadium, but those trading informally at the venues. The economic freedom fighters on a national and provincial level enforces the opening of stadiums as a means of economic intervention. The party is concerned that these facilities are still not fully operational due to COVID-19 regulations, which is having an impact on the livelihoods of employees. If the Department of Culture, Arts, Sports and Recreation can apply this logic, the vacancy rates can be decreased from 20% to 6% as per the stipulated target for 2022-2023 financial year. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dikolomela. Honorable Rabutap, you have 7 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Another year, another budget debate. It is troubling that another year has passed with little development, very little to discuss, and practically nothing to be enthused about. According to the National Development Plan, the focus of this department should be on establishing communities for artisans and designers to grow economically by providing specialized support for rural and township-based enterprises as a means of generating and maintaining employment. But, Honorable Chair, this department has failed our artists. Support for our local artists is virtually non-existent. This department has the potential to have a significant impact on people's lives, to make it better, but year after year, we conclude that the 740 million allotted was insufficient. Worse, the department returned the money allotted to them due to their inability to handle their finances and projects appropriately. We recently drove across the length and width of our province, holding public hearings to ascertain the Northwest people's feelings about the Arts and Culture Bill, and their unhappiness was palpable. Palpable indeed. We are afraid that the measure will not assist people who are meant to profit from it. Those artists who are doing everything they can to survive. Chair, the Mabana Arts and Culture Foundation is a barren wasteland. A plan is needed to revitalize Mabana. When Mabana was formed years ago, it was fit for purpose. Then, today, with all the technological advances, is it still relevant in its current format? When is the institution expanding beyond what it does now? I'm asking this question following the performance bill that is currently before National Assembly. The participants in the public hearings asked very relevant questions on the appropriateness and relevancy of institutions such as this one. We implore on the department to investigate how it can expand Mabana and make it great again. Chair, While we appreciate the appointment of the board of Mabana by the former MEC Tlapi, we have been shocked by the recent appointment of the acting CEO of Mabana. Was this appointment regular? Did the board, as the accounting authority of the institution, approve this? You know, MEC Musenugi has an appetite to irregular appointments, and her track record in DDECT is proof enough that time will tell on the regularity of this acting appointment. Funding for rural sports organization is almost non-existent. Please, for funding for items such as mere uniform or equipment is like asking for $1 million. Many organizations are sent from pillar to post. We have been approached by a number of organizations who honestly have the best interest of kids at heart, whom this department has failed to fund. What is the plan to assist such sports organizations, MEC? What
You
is
have
the
2 minutes
criteria?
remaining.
Who are the beneficiaries, as most who apply get turned away? We will await the response. Is this a plan to collaborate with the department? Is there a plan to collaborate with the Department of Education in sports-related programs? Where is that plan? Why are the two departments operating in silos as if they do not belong to one government? Chair, the libraries in our province are in need of immediate attention. Dilapidated and neglected facilities, a scarcity of books, and those that are available are obsolete and damaged beyond repair. Staff shortages and a shortage of technological devices such as computers and Wi-Fi connectivity are just a few of the issues that this department should deal with. These libraries are intended to benefit the residents of this province, to create a secure atmosphere in which children may learn, study research, and develop themselves. Security is a huge problem because people do not feel safe in these libraries. Chair, according to the National Heritage Resources Act, the department's responsibility is to manage, protect, and preserve heritage resources. However, a lack of financial support and security puts our museums and the artifacts that are meant to be safeguarded at risk. All of this leaves our province museums in a sorry state of long forgotten stories. Is this the legacy you intend to leave for our children? The department bears significant responsibility for establishing a culture of learning, understanding, savoring, and embracing history, cultures, talents, and future. However, this department is failing the people of Northwest, and the DA rejects the amount allocated to it. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mutswana. You have 12 minutes.
No, thanks, Honorable Chair of Chairs, Motlotlegi Musa Kgotla, Susana Danki, Tona Kgolo re ke a o bitsa Bushmape, Batlotlegi ba Khuduthamaga, honorable members of the provincial legislature, baeng ba rona ba Tlotlego, ladies and gentlemen, Motlotlegi modulasetulo ha ba dula ditulo. Today we meet here on the day which has significance in our history as the 23rd of May 1994 marks the admission of our country as the 53rd member state of the African Organization of African Unity, now African Union, in Tunisia. It was at this historic gathering that the global icon and former President Nelson Mandela made the following commitments to heads of the state and government. And I quote, "We South Africa appears on the agenda again. Let it be because we want to discuss what its contribution shall it be to the making of the new African Renaissance. Let it be because we want to discuss what material it will supply for the rebuilding of the African city of Carthage. One epoch with its historic task has come to an end. Surely another must commence with its own challenges. Africa cries out for a new birth. Carthage awaits the restoration of its glory. If freedom was the crown which the fighters of liberation sought to place on the head of Mother Africa, let the upliftment, the happiness, prosperity, and comfort of the children be the jewel of the crown." End quote. Consistent with the analysis and the call to action, our efforts are founded on this directive. The NDP envisions a South African society in 2030 that embraces its diversity rather than emphasizing observable differences along the contours of race, class, gender, religion, culture, and other social construction. Such a society will have a common set of values that shares an inclusive economy, increased interaction among the South Africans of different social and racial groups, as well as strong leadership cadre across society, buttressed by a mobilized, active, and responsible citizenry. Through the approved program of action for Outcome 14, government has made great strides in bridging the past socio-historical division, even though a lot still needs to be done in fostering nation building and social cohesion. In the same vein, Honorable Chair of Chairs, we continue to embrace our African identity and play our part in shaping and the development of a new and modern Africa and the rebirth of a new African nation. With this, the ANC was mindful of the fact that through its arts and culture, a sense of national identity and pride can be cultivated. Arts and culture was perceived to other programs so that the department can function effectively in order to carry out its mandate. But what remains disconcerting is the allocation of an amount of 2 million to the critically important item dealing with gender-based violence. As the ANC, we are of the view that this amount is minuscule and it cannot address the high prevalence of incidents of gender-based violence and femicide terrorizing our women in communities. This is disappointing in that the currently South Africa holds the shameful distinction of being one of the most unsafe places in the world to be a woman. The highest rates of intimate partner violence and recently released data of Statistics SA show that rape and sexual violence have become hyper-endemic. It is a scourge that affects all of us, young and old, black or white, rich or poor, rural or urban. It pervades every sphere of our society. And it is on this basis that we urge the department to devise some means to see to it that these figures are revised so that we are on par with daily statistics of this pandemic. Right from the dawn of democracy, the democratic ANC-led government has been seized with the national effort to create a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous society. Sports and the arts have become the defining character of the thrust towards nation building and social cohesion. The ultimate goal in all our endeavors as part of the arts, culture, and heritage fraternities to ensure that progressive South Africa becomes a socially integrated and inclusive society. We applaud the department in achieving their target of the number of creative industry practitioners developed through mentorship and programs. This includes a number of cultural and creative industry practitioners empowered through capacity building programs. As the ANC, we recognize the need to continuously ensure capacity development amongst the creativity. We affirm in our belief that for any province and any country to prosper in sport, it must be rooted in the strong foundation of development at the grassroots, and as such, sports in school is the bedrock of our sport in the province. No effort must be spared to advance our people's interest in the arts and culture and sports sector. Accelerating service delivery must open opportunity for the unemployed but talented youth in our township and rural communities. We also urge the department to increase learners' access to sports at schools and support them to participate in district school sports championships and national school sports championships, and by providing equipment and attire to schools, hubs, and clubs. The hosting of Netball World Cup in South Africa is a huge milestone, and this demonstrates the commitment to the advancement of sport, particularly for women in the country. This is another historical moment as it is for the first time that this event is hosted on the African soil. We also welcome the awareness conducted by the department to build this premier sport. We also welcome the pledge made by the department in holding such event as N12 Ultra Marathon, National Track and Field Athletics, National Dance Competition, Northwest Provincial Award and Sports Provincial Award, and the support to disability games, which will go a long way in professionalization of sports codes and recognition of different sports disciplines. We call on the department to transfer the sports recreational facilities to municipalities and enter into service level agreement with municipalities on the upkeep of these facilities. In the same breath, we commend the department for undertaking to complete the Mante Sports Complex. We applaud the initiative of the department to appoint sport activity coordinators. This will go a long way in assisting with the training of number of people in sports recreation programs, establishment of clubs and academic schools. Coming as the ANC-led government approach to job creation is continuing supporting employment through various directives, interventions, and on this score, we commend the department in its efforts in reinforcing job creation, commitment in implementing flagships, expanded public works program as the intervention to create necessary job opportunities for our people. Young leaders need to be provided with well-stocked libraries around the province, and specifically in rural areas for the children to be provided with books and not being stocked with irrelevant textbooks has been reported. They need to read, learn, and be exposed to ideas, cultures, and opinion. South Africa is a country of many literary heroes and heroines, including our own Sol Plaatje, Nelson Mandela, Moses Kotane, J.B. Marx, Walter Chakela, Angie Krog, Nadine Godima, Miriam Tladi, Lebogang Mashile, Dr. Kopano Matla, and many more. So we should be supporting the promotion of interest in literature in our province. We desperately need more public libraries. As we conclude, Honorable Chair of Chairs, the department should deepen transformation of the arts and culture sector that will ensure a growing rural and urban economy, contributes towards reversing the brain and drain and declining population in our rural communities. As the heartbeat of the nation-rich cultural heritage, the department should ensure that our talented young residents do not see a need to leave their places of birth in search of better economic opportunities elsewhere. We support the move of the adoption of the budget vote of the Department of Arts and Culture, Sports and Recreation 2023-2024 to accelerate service delivery and advance people's interests. Thank you, Honorable Chair of Chairs.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kleinhans. You have 4 minutes.
Thank you, Chair of Chairs, honorable members and the public. I must say, there's not much to say about this department, as there's not much going on. Then I'm going to use the time to rather explain why the FF Plus are not inclined to approve budget votes necessarily. Firstly, I need to say that we do not want services not to be rendered. That is utterly false and a shallow statement. To begin with, there aren't much services rendered as it stands. But let me go to the crux of the matter. Compiling a budget is one thing. Delivering on a budget is where the challenge lies. Dis is die 4+ nie teen die lewering van dienste nie, maar het ons algehele vertroue verloor in die entiteite wat die begrotings moet bestuur. In the same breath, it is not our job to approve budgets like a budget approving factory. It is our job to hold government accountable, and one way of doing this is to not approve a budget which we know will not serve the people, but rather the pockets of some connected individuals and the political elite. That's why we don't approve the budget, because the money is not going where it's supposed to be going. But back to the department. I'm gonna name a few examples of where people went on their own without the department's help, because the money is somewhere in a pocket or in a couch or somewhere, where people took it onto their own to try and do something. We visited a village, and I cannot remember the name of the village. It's near Pilansberg, and it was a museum. That museum was managed by a local indigenous tribe. And I must tell you, thank you, I must tell you, I was so surprised at what they can do on their own, without a cent from this budget, without 1 cent. I was so really excited about that, I told friends about it, and it's really a place that even international visitors can visit. But, oh no, the department, I don't think there's a cent flowing there. I'm going to name examples of stadiums. Well, there's not one far away here that, will you feel pride in getting an international athlete to come here, or a national performer to come here?
2 minutes
You feel it?
remaining.
Oh, really? That is quite delusional. But anyway, what about our other sports facilities? Kenneth MacArthur Potch really needs attention. The thing is, we're hosting a lot of international sportsmen and sportswomen there. It's basically an eye from the international world on the Northwest Province, but it's not giving it the attention it deserves. Where are our artists in overseas talent competitions? The only one that I know about was privately funded, privately managed, and they managed to go to a talent competition in the USA. And they've done very well. Dit lyk vir my, daar is slegs 'n elite minderheid wat werklik voordeel ontvang uit hierdie begroting. Amptenare en tenderpreneurs. En hier en daar dan wys hulle 'n foto van 'n paar mense wat iets reg kry, en ons is baie bly vir hulle en ons is baie trots op hulle, maar daar kan baie meer gedoen word. Dit is juis omdat daar geen doel of sin daarin is om 'n begroting goed te keer, waar geld gemors word, waar ons provinsie se mense versaak word, waar infrastruktuur vergane lê, dat die 4+ nie die begroting goedkeur nie. Dankie, Keleboga, thank you. I'll take
Thank
the
you,
point of order
Honorable
later.
Clements. Honorable Buzo, is that a point of order?
Yes, Honorable Chair of Chairs. Honorable Chair, man, kukupa ukhalemele Honorable Mohono here, who abuse in Honorable clean hands. And you are quiet, please.
Okay, okay. Noted, Honorable Buzo. I doubt if it's a point of order. I think it's a point of concern that Honorable Mohono is abusing Honorable Clean Hands. We would look at that. As you know, we discourage gender-based violence. So we would look at it. Honorable Musenuchi, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs. I think the Honorable Clean Hands, his statement that MacArthur Stadium, there are many competitions there, be it national competition, it just shows that the stadium is at the state that competitions can take place. Otherwise, Athletics South Africa will not have brought games there. But we are not dismissing that we have other challenges in terms of the upkeep and maintenance, but you made a wrong example. The fact that you are also stating competitions that have taken place, in your opening remark you said there's nothing to report because there's nothing that is happening. Yet you are also acknowledging some of the activities that we are undertaking as a department. So you are contradicting yourselves. Honorable Kleinhans, the fact that we are not communicating our successes and support to some of the individuals who make it does not mean we do not offer the support to some of these individuals to compete at international competitions or even national competitions. And I think maybe as a weakness that we must address as a department, that we need to scream out loud as we support some of our athletes and artists who participate across different platforms. We've noted the concerns, Honorable Motswana, on the GBV allocation. And Honorable Rabotapi, my uncle, you know, a sponsored view, I can smell it from very far. Your unhappiness on behalf of other people, you are exposing yourself. But I'm just saying that I'm waiting for the day when I'm judged by the right authorities that I have made irregular appointment. But I'm inviting you as well to go and peruse the Public Service Act and also the Mabana Act in terms of appointments or secondment of officials in the public service to execute other functions. So that you understand before you make statements that necessarily misleads the public. So I'm waiting for that day, and none of you have taken me on to either go to the public protector or SIU to investigate, because you know the decisions that we have taken, it's informed by the laws of this republic. We have tabled the turnaround strategy of Mabana, and it was stated in the portfolio committee when we've stated that we are still committed to ensuring that we will deliver on that turnaround strategy of Mabana. And we are committed to ensure that Mabana is repositioned to its former glory. But we must acknowledge that it is again.
Honorable Musenuku, may you take your seat? I think there's a point of order. Honorable Sonakile.
No, thank you, Chair of Chairs. I just want to find out from the MEC that is it morally correct to take on your uncle in a public space, morally knowing what an uncle stands for?
Thank you, Honorable Sonakile. That's not a point of order. Honorable Musenuku, you may proceed. You have 2 minutes left.
Thank you. Talking about Mabana former glory, this House acknowledged in a motion without notice that the gymnastic team that participated last year internationally, more than 60% of them come from Mabana Arts and Culture. Something that you should celebrate, regardless of where you come from, be it ANC or the Democratic Alliance. Because at the end of the day, these are the successes that we must pride ourselves with as a country and as the people of the province. Now, in terms of the return of the money, we must state here, we've returned money allocated on library services, a construction of libraries, because of the challenges that we have experienced in terms of contractors. So we can't proceed with the construction when we see that this contractor will not deliver in terms of the deliverables agreed to in our contractual agreement. So it was not a common sense that we did not do what we are supposed to do, or money was not aimed at service delivery. Honorable Dikolomela, I hope you were listening to the budget statement. We stated our efforts in terms of rollout of internet connectivity infrastructure in in all our libraries, because we do acknowledge that there has been a challenge. And this we can't do on our own. We have the support of the Premier and the State Information Technology Agency that is providing the necessary technical support. We've stated that books have been delivered to the department for us to do the necessary recording as per the expectation of the library system. And as we speak, those books are being delivered in all our libraries, especially where there was a serious need. The Marathon Stadium, or Maiken Stadium, I'm not sure what did you say. We've reported some of our efforts of the department in terms of refurbishing that stadium. We do acknowledge the resources are not enough for us to deal with all the challenges, especially in terms of the structural challenges of the stadium. But there are things that we have done. Some of them, it's the pitch. Some of them is the construction alongside that stadium of some of the sporting code infrastructure that we have delivered there. So I'm inviting you as well, go and pay your visit to Marathon Stadium. And let's work together, because this is our responsibility to make sure that we mobilize resources, both internally in government and also externally, to address some of the inadequacies that exist in terms of our overall provincial fiscus. Now, in terms of cultural villages, the department has noted the concerns that have been raised by the AG. There was an evaluator appointed, which we must acknowledge that there was poor workmanship, because the appointment was not, we did not appoint a professional contractor for that purpose. It was community driving the construction of some of these cultural villages. And out of the assessment that has been made, only 3, it stated that we can proceed to put them in the state that they should be in. And we are going to request the support of the national department and internally look at what is possible, and also seek support further from National Lottery to make sure that we proceed with, we complete the construction of cultural villages. Now, in terms of the, some of the major events, or some of the big clubs to come and participate in the province, it is our wish that we can work with them to drive development of sports, but just to bring them for one game, it cost us more than 2 million, which I think will not assist in driving the development of sports, which we have articulated in the budget, to drive skills development in terms of skilling our coaches and technical officials to execute the sports development better, to support our athletes to continue competing in both national and international platforms. And if we opt to support or focus on bringing some of this national competition, it will not necessarily take us far to drive the development. We wish to indicate that we have partnership with the Department of Education, the Department of Social Development, amongst others, as we have stated, and also the Department of Health, because there are health outcomes from physical activity, amongst others. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. We will now read the roll call to ascertain if indeed the sitting to adopt this important budget vote is forming a quorum. Honorable Babuile, Honorable Bukhatu, Honorable Twaile,
Present.
Honorable Tanchi, Honorable Kolomela,
Present, Chair.
Honorable Jesu,
Present, Chair.
Honorable Edwards,
Present.
Honorable Clenans,
Present.
Honorable Lehari,
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Nkupani, Honorable Mape,
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Maloi,
Teenwoordig Ilagbare.
Honorable Micha,
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Mohono,
Badula
Honorable Muilwa,
Present, Chair.
Honorable Mukhotwa, Honorable Mukhosi,
Present, Chief Chairs.
Honorable Mulapisi,
Ke teng.
Honorable Musenuchi,
Present Chair.
Honorable Mutumi, Honorable Mutswana,
Tien Vorda.
Honorable Rabutapi,
Present, Chair.
Honorable Khosho,
Chief Chairs.
Honorable Sambata,
Present, Chair of Chairs.
Honorable Sibikwe,
Dien Woerdag Akbar.
Honorable Sonakile, Honorable
Present.
Sonakile,
Present.
Honorable Thioloko, Honorable Tlapi,
Ke teng modulasetilo wa baduladitilo, Honorable Bogatsu ga yo mo setilong sa gagwe.
Honorable Williams, Honorable Kaba. We have satisfied ourselves, honorable members, that indeed,
Che, replace ka Honorable Bogatsu here.
okay, Honorable Botswe.
Ke teng.
Thank you very much, honorable members. We have satisfied ourselves that indeed that's correct. We will now adopt the budget program by program. Program 1, administration, 126,920,000 rands. Does the House adopt the budget?
No!
Yes, the yeas have it. Program 2, cultural affairs, 230,710,000 rands. Does the House adopt the budget?
No!
Program 3, library and archive services, 206,147,000. Adopt program 3. Yes, have it. Program 4, sports and recreation, 178,288,000 rands. Does the House adopt program 4?
No!
Yes, have it. Thank you, honorable members. The 2023 budget for the Department of Arts, Culture, Sports and Recreation, vote for. Total 742,065,000 rands is adopted. Thank you very much.
Mahika, Mahikeng, here we come. Sonakile, I batla go bona ko Mahika, Mahika. Ke re ga wa adopt
Thank you
budget.
very much. We will now take a 5-minute nature break.
Chair.
The bell will be rung to reconvene, strictly 5 minutes. My apologies. Is there a hand, Honorable Bogatsu?
Joile.
Okay. Honorable Zoile, I think Honorable Bogatsu is still thinking what she may want to say. I didn't get you, Honorable Zoile. May you switch off your mic, Honorable Bogatsu? Honorable Bogatsu, may you switch off your mic?
No, Chair, I was proposing 30 minutes lunch break.
Okay, noted, Honorable Zoile. Honorable Bogatsu, your hand was up.
Chief Chairs, really economic freedom fighters, Hari Kamanyele, it must be in record.
Hello, minority.
Thank you very
Botswana.
much.
Keep
It's
quiet.
noted, Honorable, it is noted that the economic freedom fighters have placed on record their rejection of the budget. Honorable Kleinhans.
Thank you, Chair of Chairs. Also hereby place it on record that the Freedom Front Plus doesn't support the budget. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Kleinhans. The FF Plus has also placed on record their rejection of the budget. Honorable Botso, is that a point of order?
Yes, Honorable Chair of Chairs. Honorable Chair of Chairs, Honorable Tswaile cannot call us minority, whereas an independent mo ale one mo. Rona re 6 and independent ale one, no, he can't call us minority. Thank you very much. We are the official opposition in the Northwest Province.
Thank you very much. Noted, Honorable Botso.
Okay, majority.
I think it's a political statement. We would break for lunch. Well, there's a Democratic Alliance, Honorable Edwards.
The Democratic Alliance does not support this budget vote. It does not speak to the needs of the department. It doesn't cover what is required, and we reject it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Democratic Alliance also places on record their rejection for the budget as tabled. Thank you very much, honorable members. We will break for 30 minutes, lunch break, which means that the House will reconvene at 1:30. The bell will be rung to that effect. Thank you very much. We meet in 30 minutes.
Lunch break.